Beautiful. So from wherever you are, slowly bring yourself up toward a comfortable seated or a tabletop momentarily. Feel free to grab a little bit of water. We're going to be coming into this series using a strap for the entirety of the time. So if you don't have a strap at home, that's okay. You can just use a belt. So feel free to press pause right now. Go get a belt from your closet and then come on back. For those of you who don't have one block, also for this series, you don't need one, but it's an option for you to have, okay? So we're gonna start lying down on the back, beginning in dead bug pose. So making sure your props are in close distance. As you lower down onto the back, you're just going to reach the arms and the legs up toward the ceiling here, keeping the feet at about hips width, keeping your palms about shoulders width, forearms, palms face the shins, and then your feet can be relaxed, so don't worry about flexing them at all. Now pay attention what's happening in your lower back. If you're arcing a lot, then bend your knees a little bit deeper, or if there's a lot of tension or strain in through the backs of the legs, you could always come into that option where you just make it a little bit easier for your body so there's not a lot of shaking or tremoring, and you're able to hold this posture. Because majority of this practice, we're going to be basically having our legs up or out or stretched in some kind of a way with the use of the strap. Throughout this series, also, at any point in time, hug the knees into the chest, take a few deep breaths, maybe rock out the body from side to side, and then join back when you're ready. So keep the legs reaching up. Interlace the fingers, place them at the back of the head, and then inhale your head up and try to keep your head lifted, and then let go of the weight of your head into your hands so the chin comes close to the chest, and take 5 breaths. Just finding some realignment in through your back, specifically that cervical spine. Slowly start to relax your head down to the mat and then reach for your strap. So you could either find a bind, that little circle set with your strap, placing your foot into the circle, or you could just take the strap as is, or belt, just over top of the pad of the foot, okay? So starting with the right leg. So whatever the posture or that strap looks like, you're just going to lower down that left leg into posture. If extending it all the way down the mat where it's passively relaxed onto the mat is too much in any way, bend your left knee, plant the foot onto the mat, and you're holding here, okay? Otherwise, you're keeping that leg extended to the top of the mat. This is where the block comes in. For advanced students who know exactly what's about to happen for this series, and you know that you're quite flexible and you don't feel a challenge and you want more, taking that block directly underneath the buttocks, not your lower back. So when you do extend that left leg down, you're not touching that arch of the spine. You're supporting just the glutes. So whatever the posture is and you're set up, then you're just starting to find stillness. And feel free to play around with the holding of the strap. You want to feel that stretch and length into the back side of the right foot, the right calf, and the back hamstring. So the position of that strap is just at the pad of the foot. each side is going to be roughly held for 8 minutes. We're going to come into a few modified sets, so don't think you're going to hold this one for the entire of the time. And really pressing that heel away from your body. So it's up to you if you want to keep the eyes focused on a point at the leg or the ceiling. It's best to close the eyes here, as each stretch will be held for roughly 2 to 3 minutes. Try to maintain your attention around your breath, coming in and out of the nose. Doing your best to straighten out through the leg. You're here for just a few more breaths. Good. Slightly release the strap so the heel comes a little bit more aligned to the hip. And then slowly, with a straight leg, with a flexed foot, allow the right leg to lean to the left just by a couple of inches. You're not going to have to go too far to get into the back IT band. So get into that position where you feel that slight opening, and then just hold there. You can keep the eyes closed. If they're open, one tends to get a little bit more distracted by sight, by the things in the environment. So closing the eyes will be much, much better for you to focus on breathing in and out of the nose, really finding that expansion in the area of your belly. And take your final 2 breaths. Beauty. Bring your leg back to a neutral. Take a moment to take a half happy baby. So bending at the right knee. We're trying to trek that kneecap right in and up close to the right armpit. So once your thigh, if you're here, once your thigh comes down toward the trunk of the body, then with time, you're just going to allow the inner thigh to slide down the side. Okay, we're just here for a reset, so we're not holding as long. Taking 2 more breaths. And I'm going to challenge you here. Whatever depth that right thigh is right now, you want to try to keep the leg there. Keep the knee at that height. You're simply going to extend the right leg straight. So one day the idea is to allow that right calf to make its way right up toward the right side of the face. And with time it'll get there. Now if you are watching the screen, you'll notice that the strap is now in my left palm. And I'm resting my head just on top of the palm. My palm is gripped, holding the strap in place. This helps to open up through the side lateral plane, the ribs. And then I'm using the right arm to either hold my right leg for a little bit of support or even massaging the muscle to try to soften it, to go a little bit deeper. Good, we're here for just a few more breaths. Feel free, that right leg doesn't have to come right up to that 45-degree angle. It can open up to a 90, so the right heel is aligned to your hip. Every single day will be slightly different to whatever it is that your body may need. Remember, for that option, if you need to bend the left knee and plant the foot down, you can always come back to that. Beautiful. Final breath. Just as you came in, come out, so half happy baby. Now from here, just take the strap off. Hug the right knee into the chest. Inhale the forehead up to touch the kneecap. And then exhale, relax your head back down. Full body stretch. Reaching the right leg down beside the left. Reach the arms overhead, find a yawn in the body if it's there, and then circle out the ankles and the wrists. Bending the knees. Hug the knees. And just rock it out from side to side a little bit. Getting ready to go to the opposite side of the body. Take a moment here to just stretch out the limbs up into dead bug pose. Again, circle out the ankles and the wrists. Maybe the opposite direction. Feels a little funky, I know. And then go ahead and grab your strap, your belt, and we're getting into that reflection pose. So lower down that right leg, soften through the back body, pressing through the left heel, and then relax the nape of the neck. Inhale to lengthen through your spine. And then exhale with time. Straight leg. Try to bring that left leg closer and closer to the trunk of your body. Breathing nice and deep and easy into your belly. Two more breaths. create a little bit of slack in through the strap. Allow that heel to align up to the hip, and then very gently leaning the left leg to the right without lifting up through that left hip. Again, full body breaths. You're here for just a few more. Do your best to keep that leg straight without hyperextending, of course. As you gently start to bring that left leg back up to a neutral, get into that half happy baby. So you're bending that left knee, bringing that thigh down toward the mat, inner thigh close to the trunk of the body. Kneecap is trying to fit underneath your left armpit. Enjoy this reset. You could start to prepare for the final stretch in the next angle. And again, your challenge is to try to keep that thigh the same height, your kneecap where it is. You're just going to extend your left leg. And then again, clasping that strap, if you choose to follow me, you're clasping the strap in the right palm, and then you're just holding onto it tightly in the form of a fist and resting your head just on top. So it kind of anchors your body in place. Now remember that body, that leg, doesn't have to be at 45. You can lower it down so it's more of a 90 degree. And we've got just about a minute to go. So really fill that space with a very, very conscious breath, a mindful breath, breathing in and out of the nose. Beautiful final 2 breaths. Slight bend in through that left knee. Take the strap off and away from your body. Hug your left knee now into the chest. Inhale the forehead up to touch the kneecap. Exhale, relaxing your head down. Taking a couple more breaths here. This time, let's bend your right knee right away and either hug the knees or come into a happy baby. And then just take a couple of rocks from side to side. Now, if your body needs anything else during this time, Before your next add-on, feel free to explore it now. Otherwise, you're either rocking along the length of the spine to come up to a seated, or roll to the right, pushing yourself up, grabbing a little bit of water, getting anything else that you need ready. And if you need some release into your lower back, before your next series, taking the thighs together, reaching the arms forward, and then just allow the trunk of the body to rest on the legs, forehead to the mat.